in a simple, coherent and interesting manner, but also in an analytical and critical way, enable the students to understand the past in its broader perspective together with the intricacies and complexities of the discipline of history. The immense contribution Sri Silva has made to the advancement of historical knowledge is quite evident if one even pay a cursory look into the publication list that Ramani has produced in the volume. After the introductory remarks to the volume, there are 11 chapters contributed by reputed local and international scholars on various subject matters with serious historical and analytical depth. For example, Gerald Pieris, just in front of me, argued in his chapter on history, space and amnesia, he has subtitled as well, Invented Memories and Convenient Forgetting in Sri Lanka. So there he tried to actually analyze that this society, culture and spaces of the colony was produced and structured from Colombo, as opposed to Colombo evolving from Ceylon or Sri Lanka. Especially the colonials actually superimposed the social and spatial structure they were producing on pre-existing ones, destroying and using and incorporating them. Hence, evolution cannot explain the post-colonial culture and space in independent Sri Lanka, for there is no continuity. Rather, these were modified by external powers within the worldview they were producing. His essay speculates on a crucial missing dimension in Sri Lankan historiography, especially in regard to the memory, history and culture, while denying voluntarily accepted colonial history without questioning the sources and the exploring novel approach to it. Thank you, that brilliant article by Gerald Pieris. So then in Ananda Abeysekara's essay on the loss of kingship and colonial and other uses of the people in South Asia, provides a good example for such novel approaches to interrogating and deconstructing our colonial past. What actually Gerald Pieris was suggesting. Ananda has took that particular challenge to do that very novel way. By using recent publications of Abeysekara's The Doom King and Pirsky Nobody's People, which were written on two different instances in the past South Asia, obstructed by the violence of colonialism, he provides how unquestionable history writing effectively reproduces the colonial notion of the category of people, which he sees rearing its head in the colonial operation of power that made possible the destructions of the Canadian kingdom and the forms of life. So that's a critical way of looking at the history. Rather than thinking about the destructive aspects of the colonial governmentality, Anne Blackburn in her essay on Buddhist collaboration in late colonial Singapore shows that how colonized made creative use of the wide opportunities available to them in colonial era networks, and the communication technologies of that time spread Buddhism and commercial interest far from Sri Lanka. These networks or collaborations depended on contingent historical circumstances, including the availability of land and liquid capital and the circulation of Buddhist monastics across the South Seas, China and along Indian Ocean routes. Now, you have to apologize to me for not giving due attention to other essays that were contributed by Sri Silva Jayasuriya, Maury Hamp, John Clifford Holt, Simon Sheetreed, our Chancellor Gerald Pieris, Annette actually Finley, and Gail Brunel, due to time constraints. However, However, their scholarly contribution to the Felicitation Volume of Professor E.R.D. Silva must be well recognized and appreciated. Let me wind up my intervention here by saying this. As most of us know, E.R.D. Silva began his academic career at the University of Peradeniya, then at the Indiana State University, and finally at Old Dominion University. And over the years, he has made tremendous contributions, not only to university administration, but also, most importantly, to scholarly work as a dedicated teacher who inspired critical thinking, creative explorations, and empathetic understanding among his students. Finally, let me reiterate what I mentioned at the beginning of this talk, that the Professor E.R.D. Silva is one of the greatest scholars Sri Lanka has ever produced in the field of humanities and social science, particularly within the discipline of Sri Lankan history. I wish him a happy, productive, and healthy life for many more years, Professor De Silva. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your insights, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I invite Professor Ramani Hettiarachchi to introduce Professor Chandra R. De Silva.
Professor Chandra De Silva is Emeritus Professor in Old Dominion University. He served as interim post and Vice President for Academic Affairs from 2015 to 2016. In addition, he worked as a Vice Prost for Faculty of Arts and Letters and Chair Department of History from 1998 to 2003 at the same institution. He has over 100 publications on Portuguese colonial history and on contemporary education, ethnicity, politics, and law. Before he moved to Norfolk, Professor Chandra De Silva was chair, Department of History, Indiana State University from 1998 to 1991 to 1998, and visiting professor of Asian Studies, Baldwin College, USA. He started his academic career at the University of Peradeniya, then the University of Ceylon, where he served as professor and dean till 1989. Professor Chandra De Silva played a key role as a university administrator at Peradeniya during the period from 1978 to 1989. He was the Dean, Faculty of Arts at the University of Peradeniya, a faculty covering a full range of the discipline in humanities and social sciences and having the largest number of students and faculty members in the university system. He served as a member of the University Council from 1985 to 1989. Vice Chancellor, I would like to mention here a very important aspect relating to our Portuguese expert. He had a good knowledge of the Portuguese language. Since he said goodbye to his place of work, Peradeniya, until now, no scholar has been able to fulfill this gap, so his role can be understood well. This is the reality. Finally, I would like to conclude my statement with reference to Professor Tudor Silva's conclusion. Sir, Professor Chandra De Silva's contribution to Sri Lankan scholarship is wide-ranging, inclusive of institution building, making linkage among different disciplines and different countries, moving back and forth between 17th century and 21st century and finding remedies for some of the pressing problems in his native country. Professor Chandra De Silva, I am kindly invite you at address the gathering in this historical moment. Sir, please join with us.
Thank you, Ramani. Can you hear me back there? Yes? Okay. Let me first thank everybody who has said so many kind things about me and my book. Dr. Prabath Silva, our Chancellor, our Vice Chancellor, the head of the Department of History, and Tudor, yes. And I would like to spend the few minutes available to me to divert your attention a little bit from the C.R. Silva, the scholar. Because I see a number of people here who have been listening here for more than 2 hours. And one of my major ambitions when I was young was to be a good teacher. In fact, when I was an undergraduate, my hope was to become a high school teacher as good as the teachers who taught me. And one of the important tasks, I know research is a key